Hello everyone, and welcome to part one of a two-part series about spiritual healing using the work of Bruno Groening. My name is Joanna Shandro, and I'm the community leader for the Bruno Groening Circle of Friends in Edmonton. I've also been a psychologist and have had a private practice for the last 30 plus years, and I'm a mom and a grandma as well. During the last 30 years, alongside of my practice, I've also been exploring a variety of spiritual paths and religious paths. So I was raised Christian, but I've also explored Buddhism and Baha'i, and went to India and spent some time in the ashram of Sai Baba. And I was very involved in some of the more New Age type things, Reiki and Touch for Health, those kinds of things. As well as sacred geometry and flower of life, and more recently I've been involved with the what would be called the non-dual processes, or non-dual movement, I guess. So people like Adyashanti, Gangaji, Byron Katie, Eckhart Tolle, I've spent time with all of those. So some would say I've kind of been around the spiritual block the last 30 years. But I wanted to share with you the work of Bruno because there's something very special about this work that I have not found anywhere else in these 30 years. And that is the capacity to almost instantaneously, literally connect in with the flow of divine energy, with God presence. And that's when I first was introduced to Bruno a few years ago now. That was the thing that stood out the most for me. As soon as the person leading the group asked Bruno to connect us with something called Heilstrom, which I'll explain in a minute, I could feel the flow start, and that really got my attention because I'd felt it before, but after usually quite a long time in deep meditation or some kind of intricate process or something. So I really like the simplicity of it and the effectiveness of it. So today I'd like to just share a bit more about who is Bruno, a bit more of my own experience, and then I want to share with you, the most important thing is sharing with you how to do this very simple process he taught people to connect back into the healing flow, okay? So Bruno Groening was born and raised in Germany, came from a Christian background, and had to quit school early because of the war and so on, and he was always a bit of a different kind of kid, and so had a pretty rough background. But in 1949, he always had a little bit of healing going on with animals, and people felt well around him, but nobody really quite knew what it was about. But in 1949, God just started plowing through him, and people around him, anyone in his presence, was getting spontaneous healings. And I'm talking about healings at the level that they were when Jesus was on the planet. I'm talking about people blind from birth seeing, people who have been paralyzed for years walking, that kind of, at that level, as well as many, many other levels as well. I mean, those are the outstanding ones. And so, of course, that drew a lot of attention, and this is back in the 50s in Germany. So I'm not going to go into all of the detail because on his website, which is, oops, I don't know how to edit things, so this is my way of doing it. His website is bruno-groening.org. So there's how to spell his name. And you can go and onto that website, it's in German and in English, find the English. There's all kinds of information. There's a wonderful documentary. If you like looking at some old footage of thousands, I'm talking 20, 30,000 people coming to hear him speak back in the 50s, then it's all there. There's a great documentary about his life, okay? So, but what I would like to say is there's 3 words that he uses in his teaching about how to do this process. And so those words, first of all, are einstellen, And that is referring to the process of tuning into God. So this process that I'm going to explain to you is called Einstellen. Heilstrom is a German word meaning divine flow of energy or divine power. So that is what we are tuning into. That's what we're connecting into. Okay? So we use the process of Einstellen to connect into Heilstrom. And then this Regelungen, this is a German word that has to do with sometimes when the divine energy, when you start putting light into areas that are really blocked, you can get more pain. The symptoms can get worse before they get better. So Bruno wanted us to know that that's natural, that's normal, just stick with it, keep breathing, and eventually the light will clear that out and heal it, okay? So one of the things that I really, really like about Bruno is that he was so clear that he was not the healer, okay? It was God that heals, God and God alone that does the healing. And so Bruno would refer to himself as, he used lots of different metaphors, but I am a tool. I'm a tool that God uses. Or I'm a transformer. Or I'm a bridge. I'm a connector. I can connect you in with Heilstrom. And so, but he's very careful. There's lots of quotes. He'd say, if you happen to get a healing in my presence, okay, then do not thank me for it, but thank God. Give all the glory to God. And I really like that about Bruno, and sometimes we don't see that with people. And so, obviously this is a picture of Bruno here, and there's, again, lots on the website. So one of the things I'd like to share about my experience, and this is just recent, last fall, in the fall of 2019, I started doing Heilstrom again. I kind of let it, I first introduced to Bruno about 3 years ago, and then I kind of let it drop for a few reasons. Got reintroduced to it in August, and then have been doing it pretty regularly since then. This is August of 2019. So as one of the many circle of Bruno Groening friends, they're throughout the world in over 150 countries. So what our mentors, one mentor is from Sweden and the other, Switzerland, from Switzerland, and the other one is from Germany, and they come and visit us once or twice a year. So they came in the fall and we had an introduction, and so I was asked to be the leader at that point. But since then I've been doing Einstellen regularly, and some of the things that I've noticed are, I had a wart on my hand for about 6 years that I was fighting with compound W and this and that, and it would go away, it would come back, go away, and it was ready for another treatment. It totally disappeared. I just noticed that it was gone one day. I also had some high-risk cervical cancer cells, and I was supposed to have, and that was, by PAPS and by a biopsy, and I was supposed to have a surgical procedure, but after doing Einstellen, they completely went away, and I didn't have to have that procedure. Also, lots of aches and pains, come and go. I've hurt myself, they heal quickly. And I've also noticed that I've become softer in my heart, and I've really been focusing on forgiving any even little tiny grudges that I've held against other people. And so as I do that, then there's more room for more flow, okay? And certainly mentally, I feel more clear and open and more positive in my thoughts for longer periods of time. So healing can occur in mentally, emotionally, physically. We also get helps through, we can also ask for help. Help me find a job, help me navigate this situation. Okay, so lots of people report that. There's over 60,000 documented healings or helps and healings now in the last 40 years. So all of that you can look at online. So I'd like to teach you now this process called Einstellen. And I've broken it down into 3 steps. The first step is about clearing. So I invite people to kind of notice what's going on right now? You know, do you have any negative thoughts? Do you have any fear-based emotions or low density physical sensations, any kind of tightening or any kind of pain in your body? You know, what's been going on the last few weeks or right now? So identify something, and that will be kind of the target that you can use for this particular Einstein session. And then once you've become aware of it, it's like, okay, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to work on perhaps getting past some self-rejection or my grudge about so-and-so or this pain in my shoulder or whatever. Then the first part is about clearing. Okay, the second part's about confirming, and the third part's about connecting. So during the first part, I will be leading you to notice whatever it is that you want to work on, and then stepping away from it. So it's like you kind of just step back, get a little bit of distance from it. And then I'm going to say open and soften your awareness, because whatever your awareness, whatever you're aware of is being held in your awareness. So if you just imagine just expanding your awareness, softening it, opening it, and so on, it's like it releases the sticky hold that you've got on this particular thing. And when you do that, then you can just imagine or witness, see it flowing back to Bruno. Okay? Because another thing that Bruno said is, I will take all of your suffering, all of your issues. I'm like the little garbage man, and you can give it to me and I will dispose of it. So the first part is about clearing anything that no longer serves us and just sending it back to Bruno. The second part is about confirming some basic beliefs. And the two that I use, and you're welcome to use other ones, but the two that I use are, I trust and believe that divine power helps and heals. Miracles happen in the presence of God. Okay? Because I'm aware of many miracles happening. So those are two things that I believe. And I like to confirm that each time that I do Einstein. And then the next part is about connecting. And at this part, you actually ask Bruno to connect you into Heilstrom. And I find it works better if I use the term Heilstrom. But of course, you can experiment with this. And so another thing that Bruno made really clear is that he cannot help us unless we ask for help. And also he can't help us unless we let go. He can't take things from us unless we let go of them. That was the first part. And he cannot help us unless we ask for it, because we are in free will zone here. And so it's very important to ask Bruno, would you please connect me in with Heilstrom, knowing that this is divine energy from God. Okay? That's all around us all the time. It's, can we connect in with it? Okay? And then you can ask God for whatever it is you want. You can be very specific and say, God or Creator, whatever words you use for Him, Abba Father, whatever, you can ask God, help me with this, or bring healing to this area of my body, or bring acceptance, help me accept these things that I can't change, whatever it is you want. Because remember, God responds to our heart's desire. And if you're not sure what to ask for, you can always ask for something. Quite often I'll say, God, I would ask for the restoration of the divine blueprint in my life. Restore my life, my thoughts, my words, my actions, my relationships. Restore divine order in all of those areas. Okay, renew my mind. So that's a personal thing. You're welcome to ask whatever it is you would like to ask at that time. Okay? So that's the basics of how you do Einstein. And I'm going to wind up this part one shortly. And then part two is actually me just leading you through what I just described. And so you can do that over and over again. And I'm just going to lead you in, and then I'm going to let you listen to some lovely music for about 10 minutes or so after I've led you into the Einstellung, because some people find that really useful. You can do it as often as you choose. Bruno suggested that we do it at least twice a day. He said you're like batteries, and you need to get plugged back into the source on a daily basis so that you can recharge. So this isn't something to do just if you're having problems or issues and concerns. This is something to do to recharge the battery. Of course, in this day and age, we would say we are electromagnetic energy fields, and our source is love. And we need to align with, or drop into or align with love constantly, okay? And that's one of the reasons Bruno's mission during his time was to, he called it the Great Turnaround, helping people get back to God. And that's also my purpose in doing this right now, because from a more spiritual perspective, we are shifting from a three-dimensional density into a fourth density, from third density to fourth density. And in order to do that smoothly, we need to have our hearts more open. We need to become more loving and kind and more willing to serve others, okay? Third density is about serving ourselves and creating all this technology and stuff. But fourth density is about service to others and love. So the more, regardless of your background, this is not a religious thing at all. This is strictly spiritual. And so regardless of your belief systems, Bruno said, I don't care what you believe in, but I want you to help you connect better with God, the God of your understanding, and that's what I want for you as well. And so if you are interested in joining our Edmonton group, you can email me. My email is Joanna Chandro, all one word, @shaw.ca. Okay? And right now we're meeting online, but after that is done, then we will be back to meeting in person. But still, you're welcome to join the online as well, but you would need to contact me first. So if you would like to become a friend of Bruno, there's no charge to it, there's never any fee. It's donation basis if you care to, but it's not required for sure. That you'd be most welcome to send me an email, and I'll be sure to respond, and we'll connect one way or another. So thank you very much for watching this. God bless you, and be well. Bye-bye now.